Hey there everybody! So in this video I get to actually do some practical nomadology. Ooh, exciting. But anyways, I want to talk about cars. Cause like, I don't know why the left is allergic to cars. I get it, cars are bad for the environment and they have gasoline and stuff, but like I'm just amazed by like we're really suffering, I think, the consequences of not seriously analyzing vehicles in many of these discussions, right? Because, you know, the Trump administration put out that stupid advertisement a few days ago about auto start, which if you haven't seen is here. I guess you can watch it there, but basically the implication is that only hipsters use auto start, like transgender hipsters, and the real blooded Americans would never use such a thing. And first off, this is really funny because like the people that I hear complain about auto start are mostly people on car YouTube. I am absolutely certain that some fucking 20-year-old who has never even like looked inside of their engine bay before was like listening to car YouTube and was like nodding their head like, yeah buddy, that's what I need to do. I need to take out auto start. Now, just like to people who are going around and saying, oh my god, they have auto start as an ecological feature. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. The reason why they have auto start and all of this other eco garbage that's been put into cars is so that the automotive industry can haze you with a bunch of greenwashing shit. I think we need to have this fucking discussion finally, because like the more that I've been learning about cars, the more it just frustrates me that apparently most people on the left who just are allergic to cars do not understand anything about like what's fucking wrong with them, right? Auto start is bad for your car because starting your car is bad for your car, right? So for those who don't know, the way that your non-electric car works is it causes little explosions in the engine. Yeah, explosions. And they're controlled explosions, and they're controlled in such a way where the rhythm of the explosions and the different cylinders line up to create power for your engine so that it can turn the wheels. Right, there's a bunch of shit that goes between the engine and turning the wheels, but for the discussion is we're talking about the engine, right? And when you stop the engine, right, the oil, you know, the motor oil, the shit, that the quart of oil that you have to keep putting in your used whatever the fuck because the engine keeps eating oil. Or maybe you drive a new car, I don't know. But anyways, you know that motor oil, right? That's used to lubricate the engine, among other things. But lubrication, that's a big deal, right? And what happens when your engine is running is that lube, it's flowing and it's going good, right? So when you're idling at a stoplight, you're keeping your engine lubricated. But when you stop it, that oil stops flowing, right? And it causes damage to your engine every time you start your engine like that, right? That's why it's not eco-friendly, right? But of course, Donald Trump and administration doesn't care about eco-friendliness. They care about the fact that they watched Scotty Kilmer say it or whatever.
Rev up your engine!
Jesus Christ. And this is the thing, right? Like, those people don't actually understand. Like, I mean, they probably do, and they're probably lining their own pockets, but the people on the ground, right, who are conservative and are complaining about cars and all that, they understand the reason why the car is annoying. They just don't understand any of the economic machines that are surrounding that, and they continue to funnel into the systems that make them annoying. Like, you know, one of the things that I personally really hate is that I think cars are really cool, actually. And I wish that combustion engines had better fuel sources, that we didn't have to, like, you know, do these horrible things in order to have fuel for these cool little machines, you know? Maybe in an alternate universe, you know, ethanol from corn could actually be really effective for like engines. I don't know. I'm not like a fuel expert, okay? I know somebody in the comments is already but like look, I'm just saying that it's really disappointing that so much research goes into this oil death machine especially in the Middle East, but in other places of the world as well. And how that's used for international control and all of that shit, and how the auto industry plugs into that, right? And it's not the car's fault, right? Everybody wants to blame, like, oh, those are things that are emission hogs. No, it's the fact that there are millions of them on the road. Oh, they're dangerous. It's 'cause there's millions of them on the road, and inexperienced people who should not be driving vehicles are forced to drive vehicles because the American infrastructure is designed that way. Like, honestly, a lot of car YouTubers too, they don't the funny thing about a lot of car YouTubers is that they actually tend to argue in preference for public transportation. Like, they're not hiding behind this, like, some of them are, but, like, a lot of them are not hiding behind this aura of masculinity because they don't want their fucking cars damaged. You know that guy who parks in the back of the lot with, like, 4 parking spots or whatever? He doesn't want his fucking car damaged. I wish somebody told me that when I was younger, but whatever. And that's the thing. When you actually like cars, it sucks because you have to go on the road with a bunch of people who don't like cars, who don't want to drive, who don't even want to own a car, who just have to because they have to get to work and back, right? And you're on the road with a bunch of those people. I actually like driving. I like doing long driving. I'm not like a race car driver. I'm like more like a long haul driver. I like traveling across, you know, the East Coast, and you know, that's cool, that's fun, right? But yeah, I like driving, and like when you start to get really like more into driving and you're not just like a stupid person who owns a vehicle, but you actually like really get into it, you learn how the machine works and you learn how to appreciate it. And part of the reason why I like driving old cars, right, is because they don't have all of that fucking fake crap that modern cars do. You know, all of that, you know, a lot of these so-called eco engines and shit, they're failing a lot. You know, they fail a lot. They have all these like issues with breaking down, and a big part of it is that the automotive industry benefits from that, because then you buy a new car. Right? The automotive industry sees, hey, we're reducing the amount of time that people are owning a car from decades to, you know, a few years through, and that's how you get this crazy predatory like lending practices and shit like that. Like, if you know anything about like CarMax or Carvana, holy shit, Carvana is like one of the most openly corrupt businesses in the open right now. It's actually insane. But yeah, like it's like there's a whole world that needs to be discussed that people are just ignoring because they think that they can just be like, well, I like Europe. Europe has all these restrictions on cars. And it's like, yeah, but that's not like really solving the problem fundamentally with cars, right? The fundamental problem with cars is that, like, when I was a kid, right, I grew up in Metro Detroit, and when the Pontiac Silverdome, you know, kind of fell apart and did its thing, right? The parking lot was illegally used to store thousands and thousands of vehicles. And I remember seeing that as a kid and just seeing thousands and thousands and thousands of vehicles that just sit there, overstocked. And there's quite a few parking lots like this in Michigan. If you're familiar with the area, there's quite a few areas that are just massive parking lots for overstock. And it's like, this is the problem with cars. Why do we need millions of cars every year? Why do we need this many new cars? Why do we need this production? Why do we need this entire infrastructure? And the reason why is because that infrastructure doesn't serve the production of making good cars. It serves the production of this society, right? It's just more of a it's a major pillar of what our society is actually built around in terms of, you know, control over the world, really. Right? Like, that's, and you can really see that too, like, if you know anything about Henry Ford. But, yeah, it just came up because, like, I saw that fucking ad, and it's really funny because I figured out, there was another problem with my car. It's funny how that is with used cars. It's actually not that bad. Like, I didn't get, like, scammed with this car, for people who are wondering. I actually got a really good deal on this car. I got scammed from a shop who made me replace my ABS. They were stupid, okay? They weren't like cheating me. They were just stupid, and they saw that the ABS was giving a code, and they figured that the ABS was faulty, but the code that it was giving was saying, hey, you guys installed the master brake cylinder incorrectly. Maybe fix that. It was the master brake cylinder all along, I swear to fucking... And it cost me $2,000, and I don't think I'm gonna be able to get that money back, which sucks. And then my engine light came on about last week, and I was like, what the fuck's going on? And I've finally had the ability to look at it because it's cold as shit in Vermont, and I looked at it, and my catalytic converter literally just fell off. Just like, bye. So I'm gonna have to deal with that. And yeah, cars can be expensive like that, but like part of what I like about cars is especially the older ones is that you can understand how they work. You can understand them as machines. They're not these black boxes, which is not what a modern car is like. But yeah, anyways, I hope that just me kind of rambling about this kind of educated you a little bit about why the politics surrounding cars really needs to be explored, I think, a little bit by the left, because it's just like there's so many discussions that need to be had, and we're too busy being like, well, what if the cities didn't have any cars, and what if we banned every car? And you know, no, there's a lot of people who are gonna have a problem with that. That's a stupid comment made by stupid people who don't want to, you know, take these problems seriously. So